everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast for the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy. It's the Holistic Transformation podcast where we look at ancient wisdom, spirituality, and holistic health. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly, and as usual, I prepared slides because I find that easier. So let me just do a quick share screen. And here we go. Let me make this bigger. There we are. So this week we're going to talk about Heart of the Lion, preparing your body, soul, and stars for the 8-8 portal. Last year we had the 888 portal. So this year we have the 889 portal. Okay. So what does this mean? So we're going to talk about how spiritual and astrological significance of the of the Lionsgate portal, which peaks on 8-8, but it's actually a date range. And what that means, is it good? Is it bad? I don't like to think in terms of good or bad, but what is the impact? And it depends on what you have in Leo. So the 8-8 alignment with Sirius, we'll talk about that, and the Leo energy and how to spiritually and physically prepare for it. So we'll give you some suggestions to help you with the energies. We'll also explore holistic health tips, astrological insights, and energetic alignment practices to receive and embody the influx of high frequency light. So first is, what is the Lionsgate portal? What is the potent time? Leo season is the heart center. It rules the heart in astrology and in health and TCM. And we'll talk about the astrological alignments and some holistic health practices. Okay, so it begins in July through August the 12th. Okay, so it's not just one point in time. So we're already under its influence because this is being released on August the 4th. So you have another 8 days to be under this influence. Astrologically, it marks the helical rising of Sirius. So Sirius is called the dog star, or the Dogons call it the dog star. And it is not visible year round. So when it comes up, it's called the rising of Sirius. It's our spiritual sun. It's in alignment with the sun in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. And the sun is in, it's not it's exalted in Aries. Yeah, it's exalted in Aries, but it's at home in Leo. And so where is Leo in your chart? So you look at your chart and you figure out what you have that is in Leo or other fire signs. Because if it's in other fire signs, then they're making a positive alignment with whatever you have in your native Leo. So Sirius was sacred to the ancient Egyptians. It rose when the Nile flooded. So it was symbolizing rebirth. Now they put in the dam, and so that doesn't happen anymore, but we still have Sirius rising. And so it's a time to think about the symbol of rebirth and the heart. Esoterically, this alignment blasts the earth with higher light codes. We've been talking about light codes now for a couple of months, and these awaken your DNA. So your DNA is actually the light codes, and as they awaken, it changes you. It changes all of us. As we awaken, it expands our heart, and our souls begin to remember. Okay, so we have forgotten who we are, what we are. I talked about this in previous podcasts as well. So this is awakening, especially at this time with the sun in Leo. So you can think of this as an energetic new year for your soul. And this whole year, we have Jupiter in Cancer. So if you're a Cancer sun, moon, rising, or you have other sun, moon, rising in a water sign, it's making a trine or a positive aspect. So you want to look at that in your chart and see what good luck, and look at what you have in fire signs like Aries, what else you have in Leo, and what you have in Sagittarius, because they're making trines, and they're making trines with the sun in. I think Mars is also there. It's about to go into Virgo if it hasn't already by the time you see this. Okay, so the Lionsgate portal, Leo season, the heart-centered healing. So Leo is ruled by the sun. It governs the heart in both astrology and traditional Chinese medicine. So this is a time to open the heart chakra. So what I suggest people do is learn to breathe in and out through the heart chakra. And again, I've talked about this in past podcasts. So when you focus on the heart and pulling in energy through your heart, you can actually bring in energy, light, water, food, whatever you need in the moment through your heart. And you'll notice that your breathing slows down if it doesn't actually completely stop. That happened to me the first time I did this. That was several years ago. And I panicked. I thought, oh my God, I'm not breathing. And that's because my first near-death experience, I realized I wasn't breathing and I started panicking. And so it was like, oh my God, I'm not breathing. And I came back and then I went, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm still here. So don't get scared, but you can get to the point where you will not feel any air moving and you won't feel yourself breathing. And it's wonderful. Once you do the heart, then you can work on your other chakras as well. And then what happens is you eventually don't need food and water. So you can heal ancestral wounds around self-worth and visibility. So are you afraid to be seen? Are you afraid to show people who you really are? Are you a wallflower, or are you timid, or do you have, what do they, I always forget what they call this, imposter syndrome? Do you have imposter syndrome? Do you have a lot of fear? A lot of people today have a lot of fear going on, which is kidney issues. So you don't want that. You want to know that you are important, you are worthy. It doesn't matter that you're not perfect, because none of us are perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect. So it's okay to have flaws. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. Just learn from them so you don't make the same mistake over and over again, of course. So you can step into leadership from a place of courage, not ego. And you don't have to be a manager or a supervisor or executive or whatever to be a leader. You can be a leader by being a parent. You're being a leader in your family. You can be a leader in any group of people. You can be a leader in a nonprofit. There's many, many ways to be a leader. It's just a way of being. And let go of your fear of showing the ability to lead. When I first started doing handwriting analysis decades ago, I read this one woman's handwriting. I says, you know, you have strong leadership abilities. And she said, no, I don't. I says, yes, you do. It's right here in your handwriting. The very next time we had an election for president of our group, she was elected president. So you have that courage to be what you think you're not. And what you think you're not, it means you really are that. You've just been afraid to allow it to come through. So allow that courage. Of course, you don't want to do it to be famous, rich, or famous, rich, or what's the other one? In Hollywood, they want fame and wealth, power, or powerful. So you don't want to use ego. The politicians want money and power. In Hollywood, they want fame and money. What did I say for politics? They want power and wealth. And in Hollywood, they want fame and wealth. Okay, I think I said it right. I'm dyslexic. I get things backwards. Okay, so support your heart physically and emotionally. So in Chinese medicine, the heart is about emotions. And when we treat the emotions, we use the heart channel. If there's something physically wrong with the heart, we use a pericardium channel, which is the membrane around the heart. Use rose or hawthorn tea. You can also use hawthorn berry capsules or tinctures. It's really good for cleaning your arteries, boosting your heart function. Once a year, I do a bottle of hawthorn. I'm actually doing that right now. And it's really good for cleaning up your body and keeping your heart and your arteries healthy. But it also nourishes your emotional heart. So the heart is both physical and emotional. In Chinese medicine, we don't separate the emotions from the physical. We look at both together. You want to practice heart coherence breathing. What that means is you inhale and exhale for the same amount of time. So you can use 4 in, 4 out, 5 in, 5 out, 10 in, 10 out, 21 in, 20. I don't recommend going over 21. That's the most I've ever seen in any of my mystery schools that they taught. But you want to do a pause. So in, pause, in, pause, out, pause, and make the in and the out even. And there's other techniques you can use, but you can take a class on breathing exercises if you want to know more about the breath, or you can just meditate while breathing and you will remember all the things that you've forgotten. You can massage heart 7. I suggest using an essential oils like lavender, and you just put a drop on a cotton and rub it in. So heart 7 is right here on the wrist crease. You have a crease here. It's right there on the pinky side. So this is the radial side. So you have a radius bone and an ulnar bone. So it's the ulnar side by the pinky, right on the wrist crease. Then there's a tendon there, and it's right there by the tendon. So it's actually on this side of the tendon, but it's bigger here. I usually needle underneath the tendon to get to it. But you don't have to needle it. You can just use a cotton swabber. You can use your thumb, and you just massage this right here with a little bit. You don't need the lavender oil, but the lavender oil helps calm you down. So I like to do this. Okay, where was I? Down here. Okay, so that's hawthorn tea or rose. You don't want to use rose without if you decide to use an essential oil. If you have a rose spritzer, you can use that. But if you use an essential oil, you need to dilute it. You want to practice the heart coherence we just talked about and massage heart. Oh, I guess I finished this slide. Oops. Okay. All right. Alignments. So the sun's in Leo, which is going to amplify personal power. And I don't mean your ego personal power. I mean your ability to move forward as a leader confidently and compassionately. So that's leadership and light body upgrades. So the house that governs are affected. So find out what house is Leo. For example, me, Leo is my second house. So it's how I earn my living. Money that I earn on my own and how I get along and around in the world. So what house is it for you? And then you can just look up the meaning of the houses if you don't know a lot about astrology and find out that's where you will be affected. Is it your siblings? Is it your parents? Is it your children? Is it friends? Is it your significant others? Is it your health? Is it about transformation? Is it about your business? So there's all the different houses, 12 different houses, and that affects how Leo will amplify your energy. So Venus is going to conjunct Uranus in Gemini. I think that's a mistake because Venus is entering. In fact, I think it already did. Let's see here. Where is my quick lookup? Venus where's Cancer? Yeah, Venus is in Cancer. So Venus is going to be conjunct Cancer it's going to be conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. So this is about surprises in love. This is about your intuition is boosted in Cancer. It conjunct Jupiter. So whatever you want to manifest and your intuition will be boosted at this time, and you're going to get support from Venus. So I don't know where I got that from. But you will get downloads. Well, you can get them all the time, but if you meditate, you'll get them then. You'll get lots of downloads and help. So Jupiter is in Cancer, which will nourish safety and emotional expansion. And Pluto in Aquarius is your collective evolution of truth, technology, and freedom. And that will be there, like I said earlier, for 18 years. So we're about to have a lot of technology breakthroughs, med beds, all kinds of things are going to be coming out. They've had DNA computers for a long time. Most of you probably have never heard of them, but they're coming out. Expanded memory, I'm old enough. I remember those eight, 8.5 floppy disks. Some of you might remember the 3-inch disc, but there was a bigger one. It was like 8.5-inch floppy disks that we had back in the 70s. I was married back then to an engineer, so I had a desktop computer before IBM and Apple made desktop computers. And that's what we used. We used these big, huge floppy disks and smoke signal broadcasting DOS, so it predated Microsoft. And Volkswriter was the editor. There was no Word. So that was the early days. Look where we've come in the last 50 years. We're going to jumpstart that in a year. Okay. We're going to go so far beyond what we've gone through in 50 years. It's going to just blow our minds. That's what's coming. That's coming soon. Don't worry about AI. Everything it always ends up under control eventually. Don't buy into the scare tactics in the movies. Okay, there will be an influx of energy that can feel overwhelming, especially for empaths and super empaths. And if you're super sensitive to energy, anybody who's a Cancer rising, you can't walk into a room full of people. It's overwhelming. Or if you do walk in, you have to leave. You can't stay. It's just too much energy. Some of us can feel what people are thinking, and we can tell who it is in the room. It just gets to be too much. And it's going to be that way for everyone. Okay. You're going to be such strong feelings and in tune with your feelings and what's going on around you. That's why you need to stay grounded. And I learned decades ago when I start feeling something, I don't know what the heck is this about? I ask, is this me? That's a really good, is this me? No. Oh, who is it? So now I assume everything I feel isn't me. I know what I'm feeling because I'm grounded. I know who I am. I'm in my body. And when my feelings suddenly change, I know that's external coming in. So that's the easiest way that I've learned to keep that under control. Spiritual practices, sun gazing, dawn or dusk. Again, do not just start sun gazing. Take a class so you don't damage your eyes. If you learn how to do it right, it's amazing. Where I am now, I get to sun gaze the sunrise. I can't see the sunset. Where I was before, I could see the sunset, but not the sunrise. So meditate with the mantra, I align with my higher light. I align with my higher light. And as you know, if you've listened to me or taken Home for Success, I really promote journaling. It is one of the quickest and easiest ways to tune into who you are and start remembering. So what is the courageous version of me ready to embody is the question I want you to ask your journal and then just start writing. What is the courageous version of me ready to embody? In other words, who am I ready to become? Physical practices: cleanse the liver with dandelion tea or lemon water. And for most of us, if you're in Australia, I know I have people who listen that are in Australia and Japan and India. So for you, it might not be summer, but for a lot of us, the bulk of my audience, it is summer. So dandelion tea not only cleanses the liver, it helps cool you down. So that's kind of nice when you're hot. And then, of course, lemon water. All my patients, I tell them have lemon water every morning. It's the best way to start your day, not coffee. Coffee is the worst way to start your day. You're taking a toxic beverage that's a drug. Use essential oils like frankincense, rose, or bergamot. A little warning about bergamot is it is a citrus, so don't use it before going outside. You want to wait at least 12 hours. So I suggest citrus only be used at night before you go to bed. But frankincense is really the most spiritual awakening of all of the incense and scented essential oils. And what I have incense candles, what do you call it? Essential oils. I love frankincense. Um, Physical practices would include cleanse the liver. And oh, we're there. Sorry about that. Okay, we did that. All right. Eat high vibrational, solar powered foods, fruits, greens, wild herbs. I'm on the carnivore diet, so if you can't do that, get some sunlight. It'll have the same effect. It'll raise your vibration. Sunlight kills viruses. If you get enough sun every day, it's very likely you won't get sick. Okay? It kills viruses. Okay, so Lionsgate isn't just an astrological event, it's an invitation to lead with love, to show up fully, and to become who you really are, and to remember who you really are. So this week, I encourage you to give yourself space, listen to your thoughts, go inward. Don't need to do, just be present. In other words, be in the moment and don't bog yourself down with stuff you're doing. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't have time. I don't have the time for this. No, I can't do that." Those are people that take on so much stuff. They're not in the moment. They're worrying about the future. They're worrying about the past. They're not being who they are. So they don't have to remember and they don't have to look at who they really are. They're allowing themselves to be too busy to deal with who they are and to remember. This is the time, 2025 through 2027, to stop doing that. It's time to slow down, to smell the roses, to smell the popcorn, whatever you like to smell, and enjoy yourself. Have some fun, play a little. And what I found is if you don't put it in your calendar, it isn't going to happen. So I put things like that in my calendar. I would frequently forget to eat lunch. So I now block lunch on my calendar. And I get away from my desk, I go and I have lunch. So you have the ability to do that. The world doesn't end because you stopped doing something. It doesn't end. And whatever you were doing will still be there when you go back. So this is the time to be present. Okay. So I want to thank you for being here on this path with me. I encourage you to share this episode if you can. And remember, your heart is the gateway. The lion's roar is your soul's call to rise. So you are important. Everyone is important. And whatever you have to contribute is important to the whole. So each person contributes differently because we're all different. But the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's called synergy because each of you contributes in your own special way, whatever way that is. So If you want to dive deeper into medical astrology and learn about your health and what's coming up for you, you can go to dbmedicalastrology.com and find out more about how you can get information on that. You can go to my drbeverlylawrence.com site to find out. You can get just about everywhere from that site to everything I do. I think I have like 14 websites because I do a lot of different things. Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy.com has all the classes. If you click on courses, some are evergreen, some are live. And then Home for Success is my free masterclass and 30-day intensive. So it's 37 days altogether, 30-day intensive and 7 days of masterclass. And then diamondsourcelight.com is the free Qigong energy healing system I told you about. So thank you so much. If you would be kind enough to like and subscribe, that helps the channel. And if you share it, it helps us to grow even more. And I do love comments and I read them all. So I appreciate it when people comment. And if you want to hear something specific, just put that in the comments so that I know what you're interested in. So thank you for joining us. And remember to be the light you want to see in the world.